Greetings, dear viewers. I'm Detective Myers. Don't forget to subscribe. My channel is where human psyche meets the pursuit of justice. Here you'll find compelling stories about the struggle for justice. Reading that just gave me flashbacks. As soon as I started reading that, it just sounded way too similar to something I've seen before. Oh yeah, here it is. Welcome to Cute Cat AI. Here we transform the charm of cats with the magic of AI, crafting mesmerizing and unique cat videos. Yeah, it never ceases to amaze me how one-note these AI channels are. But what does amaze me is some of the stuff that these channels can get away with. And that's what we're here to talk about today. I want to say thank you to the viewer who put me on to this channel because it shocked me when I went and checked it out. And I also want to remind you guys that you can always suggest things either in the comments or you can email me.
But when 2-year-old Braden came to them for the third time, experienced surgeons were stunned. Nurses who had cared for this little boy before couldn't hold back their tears.
It's like I'm getting flashbacks to another video.
In August 2024, Thomas Locke.
Oh my god. How many views does this video have? How can you not just hear that voice and immediately be put off? But that's not even what I'm here to talk about. Detective Myers Stories has 145,000 subscribers and has amassed like 17 million views. I'm not sure if they're monetized, but they're definitely not verified. I'm not surprised by this, as if they had somebody from YouTube's team actually inspect their channel, they probably wouldn't be on here anymore. When you start to scroll through their channel, you realize that this is not just some normal true crime channel. This is far from just some AI slop true crime. Every single video focuses around children, and the thumbnails are even more disgusting if you really focus in on what they're saying. Most of the thumbnails have a real picture of the child, and then an AI-generated image, something that probably wasn't actually included in the case files, with a giant circle around something crazy. Like if we look at this one, the girl has her head cut off, and then it says tortured to death at age 3, broken skull, shattered ribs, burned alive. It's almost like the creator is getting off on these thumbnails. The reason I say that it seems like that is because the stuff that's in the thumbnails has nothing to do with the actual case itself. While most of these kids are killed in some way, it's never as bad as the thumbnail makes it seem. It's usually just a normal case of true crime where the kid was abused and then killed, usually by somebody that's connected to the family. But like this thumbnail, it says 450 days of agony found eating her own flesh, which if you actually find the case, which they never link to, that's not what happened. So I won't sit here and nitpick the details about this, because obviously they're just using this as clickbait, and it works because they get plenty of views. But I already dislike true crime to begin with, but an entire channel just focused on children seems a little bit morbid to me. Also, how are they even finding all of these cases about kids? Do they literally just go to Google and type in child murdered and see what comes up? Because that's exactly what I think they're doing. And that takes a special kind of person to just sit around and do that all day. I didn't even want to look at the ones that I looked at to verify they're using real stories, but I had to verify they were using real stories. I only looked at about 5 of them before I just said I can't do this anymore. Yeah, it's a morbid reality of the world, but why do these get so many views? Sure, the AI is crazy for making these thumbnails, and the people behind the channel are crazy for even thinking of this idea in the first place. But the viewers are some of the craziest people, I think. Because how can you sit there and just listen to this all day? It's nuts. And I'll tell you how they sit around and listen to it, because we get to the bottom of that too. If we look at the community posts, it gets even crazier. They get away with a lot more in the community posts than they do the titles. Saying brain matter leaked from her ears. The skull fracture that turned Macy's head into jelly. Stuff like this is insane, and they would never even put this as the title or the thumbnail. But they can put it in their community posts. At first, I wanted to be mad at the viewers for even viewing this stuff, but then I realized why they were. In one community post, Detective Myers posts, "We did it, justice for Isabel, and finally moving forward." And then they go through to explain how this mother was caught for murdering her child, which this detective had covered the story. Just so that you don't mishear me there, I don't mean that they covered it like they're a detective. I mean they just read the case file and showed the interviews. That's it. They go on to talk about how because you're there on their channel, you can make a difference. They even give you a thing that says you can make a difference by signing their petition or joining the movement to reform transparency and safeguarding vulnerable children. And this all sounds really great, and I would stand behind this 100%. But as I watched their videos, I went to the description to figure out where I could sign the petition and where I could help. And yeah, sure, they have some phone numbers for abused children, but I'll explain why that doesn't make any sense later. And also there's some Russian in the top there, and if you translate that, it just says the United States of America in Russian. I believe that's Russian, which I believe is because this is probably a Russian person who's trying to get their views in America, so they have it tagged like that so it'll actually show it to an American audience, and it seems like it's working. Now, I said that listing the numbers to call if you know a child that's being abused is an important thing to put under there, but it kind of takes away from it when their entire channel is mostly just blaming the parents when anything happens. It's either blaming the parents or blaming the system. And if you were to go through these videos' comments and read every single comment, it's very clear that this channel has a direct narrative to say don't trust the system. So if you don't trust the system, why would you call that number? All of the commenters are saying our system's so messed up, nothing was done, something should have been done here by the cops, but they neglected it. So why would you ever call that number? And so how else are you helping? There's no petition to sign, and they don't even do fundraisers on their video. I was shocked how easy it was to search one of the names of the videos, and it wasn't even a direct name, it was just the naming scheme, like cops, case so bad cops were traumatized, or case so bad cops had to get therapy. And if you search that, you find out that this is not the only channel doing this. It definitely seems like the most popular one, but there are others. The channel Her Dark Stories is a similar thing, only it's not quite as bad in my opinion. I mean, yes, it still uses the AI thumbnails, but they're not as gruesome, and the text is not as bad at all, which is kind of saying something because they have a lot less views, so I guess you have to be that shocking to get the views. And this channel does seem to do some fundraisers. However, what's kind of ironic about the fundraisers they're doing is that it's not even related to what these videos are. If we go to the videos and then we click on one of the fundraisers, we can see that they have raised a lot of money, but it is for Ukraine. Although they claim that the war in Ukraine has torn families apart and left countless children in danger, I don't see how this is helping a lot of these cases, most of which take place in America, and most of these videos complain about the American childcare system. They also rep in a community post how you can be part of the change if you join their exclusive memberships, which doesn't do anything to actually help children. It just does all the things that normal memberships do. Doesn't even seem like it gives you extra content. And yet again, there's nothing in their description that allows you to sign a petition or do anything. Fundraise, nothing. I mean, you can fundraise for Ukraine, but that seems kind of interesting. I found it particularly interesting that they were fundraising for Ukraine when the other channel was from Russia. I don't know about this channel, but that's oddly specific and close, especially since the conflict that's going on in Ukraine and Russia, when it was at its hottest moments, when Russia invaded Ukraine, that would have been a good time to do that fundraiser, but this is like happening this month. They have that fundraiser up this month when they uploaded that video. So I found another channel called Intellectual Crime, and they just straight up say in their description that they only focus on cases that have to do with children. I'm not exactly sure why you would do that again, but they claim that it's to uncover hard-earned lessons and unite to build a safer world for children. And something just screams to me that these people don't care at all about the children. And as far as these thumbnails are concerned, they definitely don't care about children. She was only 18 months, skull crushed to pieces. That's not the way you would speak about somebody who passed away, especially a child. And then we look at a case so horrible the cops require therapy after finding the body. only 1 month old, cooked alive in a microwave. And guess what? There's a literal chicken inside of that microwave. These are extremely offensive to the families, I would imagine. I also find it a little ironic that you could have a thumbnail that looks like this, and then you have this clip in your video, and you don't see something wrong with that.
I will never go to elementary, high school, or college. While I'm in high school, I should have been able to learn how to drive a car and graduate. I can never play football or basketball, soccer, or hockey. I will never earn my first paycheck, as I can never have my first job. I will never know what it is like to find my soulmate, date her, and marry her. I will never have children. I will never be a daddy. I will never be a papa. All of this was taken from me the day that the man killed me. I can never pick fluffies for my mommy and my mama.
People will do anything to get views, and that's completely heartless. How can you disrespect a family like that and have this clip in your video? That's ridiculous. Now, I know I've stated that I dislike true crime, and I especially dislike true crime with children involved. But if you're going to do it, because obviously people have some morbid curiosity to listen, there is a right way to do it. There are channels that can do this correctly. You don't need to disrespect the victims like that, and especially the living members of the families. Imagine if they came across this channel. How do you think they would feel? I still kind of blame the viewers just a little bit, because if you go back 11 months when this channel started, they were kind of covering regular true crime cases, at least for the first few. But then when they got to doing one where the girl was only 9, they got a lot more views. And then they realized that if they went crazier and crazier with the thumbnails, they could get even more views. So I still do kind of blame the viewer. Even with that being said, I think it's kind of funny that they title their videos like, "Case so bad, cops needed therapy," and then throughout the entire video, they just talk about how bad the police were or how bad the system was so it couldn't save the child. I mean, yeah, case so bad, the cops needed therapy, but the cops also didn't do their job, so they need therapy. You're contradicting yourself with your titles and your video's contents, Detective Myers. I found this true crime channel while I was trying to do research for this, and they do some of the same videos, although not every single video they do is the same. It's not all about kids on this channel, but it just led me to this really funny occurrence where I found this thumbnail for this video, and I was like, where have I seen that before? That's a straight ripped thumbnail from Mr. GG's video where he watched disturbing movies for 24 hours. I think he also used this template when he watched disturbing documentaries. But yeah, I just think it's hilarious that they just straight ripped that thumbnail. I'm sure other thumbnails on their channel are also ripped, but this is the one that I recognized immediately. I think it's pretty harmful that AI has made it so easy for anybody to just make the craziest low-effort YouTube videos in existence. But also, this has really dire implications. I mean, you could really be affecting some people out there with these children videos. Especially if I was like the parent of somebody who lost their child and I stumbled across this and I saw how the thumbnail looked and what the title was. Also how they cover the cases, a lot of the times blaming the parents for not being able to save their child. Or if it's a case where the parent killed the child, then they're blaming the system for not doing its job good enough. And maybe all that's true, but if I came across that and I was part of this situation, I would feel absolutely terrible. I think it's disgusting that this channel has done what they do. And also I think it's pretty telling that they don't try to have YouTube verify their account. However, I'm not sure if reporting this is going to do much to YouTube. Who knows? It might all be within the terms of service. Those thumbnails are pretty crazy though, so I can't believe that they would be. As far as I'm concerned, I feel like putting a fundraiser up on here. Hopefully I can figure out how to do that, and if I can't, I'll link a good one below, and it's going to be related directly to this type of stuff, not to Ukraine. Thanks for watching.